But I'm tired of harvesting crops. I don't want to work the farm. Roll the intro. Good morning, gamers. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, welcome back to another episode of Farming the Basics. Yes, Farming the Basics. I just broke my land. That's not good. This is a bad thing. Oh, there we go. And boom, boom. Good deal. Problem solved. Gosh, creative is so difficult to actually play around in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Farming the Basics. Today is a requested video. I had somebody from a live stream request that I build a farm like this and walk through a tutorial on how to actually do it. But before we get into that, since I just mentioned live stream, do not forget I do stream every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays over on the Twitch. The Twitcher. Twitchy. Yeah, that thing over there. You'll always find me on Twitter at SeenIsaacs on the Tweeter. Tweety bird. Tweet. And that's all we got to say. So this farm, it's a little bit difficult. And I apologize, it actually took me a little bit to learn some of the finer points of the mechanics. But in the end, I figured it out. What it is an automatic crop harvester. Let me get out of fly mode. There we are. So we got our wonderful farmer dudes in there, but you see those crops all laying on the floor. That's wasteful. If any of you caught my episode of Surviving Bedrock where we went over this, you kind of saw the gist of how this works. Is this minecart's constantly going back and forth underneath everything. Ooh, beetroot. Beetroot. I hate beetroot. It is nasty. I really just don't like it. It's yuck. But you know what? There we go. We got some of it, and we got another piece of it here. We're going to move that there. We're going to put that there, and we're good. Moving on. So, all this little minecart does is go back and forth. But the trick is getting farmers to harvest crops and not pick them up. Now, I promise when you start this farm, you're going to have your crops all neat and tidy and in a row or in a grid to where they harvest them and everything is exactly how you wanted with your OCD kicked in. After 5 minutes, say goodbye to the organization. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Just accept it, move on. Anywho, so let's come on in here. Let's get our farmers. We close our gates in here. So yeah, we've got our little farmers. They are running around, harvesting crops. Our minecart is going back and forth, picking up all of the items that are just sitting here on the ground and then depositing it in our chest there at the end. So how do we make villagers do this? Well, that is a very simple mechanic. You feed them. Very simple. Feed them, and then they throw the food on the ground. Basically, it relies on the hunger mechanic. They're full. Their inventories are full. They don't have anyone to throw the food to, such as other villagers like a breeder or anything. So all their inventory is just jam-packed full of what they've picked up. And after that point, their whole idea of farming still takes into effect. They think there's crops, they have to harvest them and replant them. Not a problem. But the crops they harvest, they have no room for in their inventory, so the crops just go on the ground, like you've been seeing. And after a little bit, we end up with chests full of good old food. We like food. I like food. A figure like mine requires constant attention. So that's it. We end up with chests full of food. Now, could this farm be more efficient? Very possible. Is it the easiest to build? In terms of what it is, very simple. Will it be the fastest producing farm? No, it will not. This is called farming the basics for a reason. These are basic farms. This is actually getting to be more advanced than most starter Minecrafters can do, but it will do the trick as you see. They'll harvest farms. You will have all of the crops that you put into it. The only reason I put beetroot in it is so I could show you how it does that as well. Honestly, I never harvest or plant beetroot. It's nasty. It can only be used for beetroot stew, which is a terrible food idea. It doesn't even stack. So if you want to put like 10 food items in your inventory, you done took up a third of your inventory. Moving back, so you can get your wheat, your carrots, your potatoes, seeds will eventually get thrown on, and the bread is from the very beginning because all villagers, or all farmers for some reason, have their inventory full of bread. I don't know why. So they threw that down. It eventually worked its way out, so they should have no more bread in their inventory. They all now have carrots and potatoes and beetroots and seeds, and these two look like they're about to throw down and go into a rumble here. They're pushing each other. Be good, farmers. But that's it. So let's get into the basics of how to make this farm. Okay, and here we go. We got our inventory full of stuff. This is the basic stuff you're going to need. Sorry, I grabbed some stuff out of the other chest. You're going to need some basic building blocks. I usually use the quartz bricks, as you guys have seen, but if you're in a survival world, use whatever works fine. There is no danger of using wood in this build unless it is close to a lava source or fire, so please keep that in mind. You're of course going to need some grass so you could actually turn it into farmland. So for that case, we definitely need a netherite hoe, because what other hoe is there besides the netherite hoe? It's the only netherite tool worth anything. The rest, stick with diamond. Moving on. You're going to obviously need some seeds and everything. You are going to want some beds for your villagers. We'll talk about the village mechanics here later. I usually use glass to surround the farm so I can still see everything. Some slabs for the roof, that way nothing can spawn up there, plus it does keep the villagers covered. I use some stairs just to get in there. Again, that's personal preference. You are going to want some regular rail and powered rail for your minecart with a hopper, which I don't have in my inventory. What am I doing? Oh my goodness. Okay, hopper minecart. You're also going to need one of these. One of these. You need one of these. Using my mouse is weird. Of course, a chest to collect everything. Some sort of a power source to actually power the rails. I use redstone blocks because redstone's pretty easy. You're going to want some lights. Definitely wanting some lights so nothing bad spawns if you're in a survival world, and so the crops will continue to grow. Crops do not grow if they go below a certain light level. And if you're in a survival world, odds are it eventually turns night, and you want your crops to still grow at night. Very convenient. I used some gates and some fences in there. I'll talk about what the fences are for, but I did use some warp fence gates just to block off the way in so I can get in, but they can't get out. So, the way to start it. I marked out a one chunk area. You can do whatever size suits you. I did a one chunk area, which is 16 by 16 blocks, rather large area. I am going to come into the center, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to knock out these 2 blocks. We are going to take our chest and hoppers, and boom, 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 boom. And you can place the chest in any orientation you like. I will suggest this one simply because it's easiest. And then I'm going to come over a couple more, because the last thing you want is your hoppers to get backlogged because the minecart had more stuff in it than one hopper could take. Doesn't hurt, costs like 10 extra iron per side, so it's 20 extra iron ingots. Hopefully by this point, if you're building this, you've got a decent supply of iron you can use because you're going to need it for this next part. That's the rails. Very simple, very easy to do. Let me get out of fly mode here. You're going to place them down. You're going to be sure to crouch place over the hoppers, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. And then we're going to do boom, 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 boom. Now, I will tell you, right here is where you're going to want a row of redstone blocks, and we're gonna back it all the way up, and there we go, and then place down some redstone blocks. The main reason you want them here is this is a good distance to get them going out of the curve, but it's not touching these hoppers to where it would lock them up. So same thing over here. Bad block placement is not going to happen anymore in this tutorial. And this also helps it with the uniform part. And y'all know me, I'm OCD. So there we go, boom, we're gonna place all these down. There we go, boom. And then powered rails on every redstone block. Do not just go ahead and place all your powered rails like this. It will make a bad time. Do it the long way. Take the extra few seconds it'll take to just place them all like so. And then before we do this, we're gonna want a redstone block there, powered rail, and a block right there. This is where the start or end, however you want to look at it, because it's just back and forth constantly, for your minecart to go so it can bounce off and keep on trucking. And then we're gonna go this way, come around the corner, there we go, just like so. I'm gonna time lapse the rest of this because it does take a little bit of time. And I think once you guys have got, 2 rows down, you've got the bad block placement. You've got the idea of what to do. Yes, you can use powered rails the whole way if you have a gold farm before you have an iron farm. That's how my world was. And just keep it on going. I'm gonna get these going. See you guys in about 20 seconds. To this back corner, we are going to repeat what we did earlier at the very front. We're going to place a redstone block there, powered rail, and a stopper block there. You can place in your minecart now if you want, but it would just be kind of annoying. The bottom part is done. The collection mechanism is done. Now, if you are obsessive compulsive and want to do some kind of a sorting system where you have a chest for wheat, a chest for carrots, a chest for potatoes, a chest for beetroot, a chest for seeds, you have at it. See my sorter video over there. Wait! Stop the presses! Quick announcement! I'm so sorry, I almost forgot about this. We are gonna fly over to the chicken coop. Quick announcement and adjustment. If you built this particular one and found out that it was not working right, I am sorry. Forgive me. I ask your forgiveness. In the most recent Minecraft update, they did a weird change to how this lava, this dispenser, that hopper all interact with these baby chickens when they grow up. Don't ask me why. They're weird like that. But you need to move the hoppers over to the side of the dispenser. Because what was going on is these chickens, one chicken would grow up, and for some reason they'd all like hop up, try to get up on top of the dispenser, and they would all die. Which is why you get like one cooked chicken. Oh wow, that's a lot of feathers. One piece of cooked chicken every time like 10 of them died. Very bad ratio. You want a 1-to-1 ratio, which now you can see it is doing much, much better here. We got this going on crazy. So yeah, simple. Just move the hoppers over to the side, move your chickens down here. I apologize. Minecraft updates sometimes break farms. Thank you, Silent, for pointing that out to us. And a big thank you to the Prowl guy. I'll give you a pass on calling Infinity Crapfinity this week. But he pointed this out in one of his videos. I watched it, and I wanted to make sure anyone who watched my video saw it. Odds are you've all seen his anyways. Back to this regularly scheduled Farming the Basics farm. Look at that. Boom. Dead chicken. More chicken. Yum, 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 yum. Boom. There we go. Okay. Back to this farm. Now it is a very simple matter. We're placing down a whole bunch of dirt. Now, I will suggest, if you're doing this farm, please put your tracks down first. Because it is a pain doing this under all of the dirt. And I will highly suggest doing a little bit of an outline for your dirt, for your farmland that's going to be first. That way, it is really easy to get up top. Once you've got the bottom part done, we'll go over the only risk you have here shortly to actually undoing all of the railroad tracks you just did. I really, really hope none of you make that mistake. There, if you have this much done, it should look like this. Oh, wow. Camouflage much. That's kind of cool. Oh, there we go. Now I can see that there's actually a depth there. Fantastic. Yeah, it should look like this. A bunch of tracks underneath and your blocks on top. Is it me or is that off center? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today's episode is brought to you by the number 8. Counting with St. Isaac's is at its best. Okay, we're not off center. We're good. So at this point, this is where I did the little stair thing just because I wanted it to look right. And I'm also going to build a quartz surrounding this thing just because I want it to look nice and I like the look of quartz. That little pearlescent white color has kind of always been a favorite of mine. I have owned 3 vehicles of that color, to say the least. And now stairs, boom, 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 boom. You don't have to do the stairs like this. I did because I like to. That's just me. And then we want some glass. We're going to go ahead and put some glass here. We're going to do glass all the way around, mainly for the idea that the villagers, 1, can't get out. 2, you can still see in and see how they're doing and check on your farm without going into your farm. The whole idea of this farm is that the villagers do it for you. There we go. And then we want our gates. Gate, gate. Gate, gate. And the reason for 2 gates is because it's an even numbered build. That's what I did. Here we go. So it's looking good there. We're going to put another layer of the glass going all the way around. I've been thinking of getting a connected glass texture pack in here, but I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for it. I understand it's a lot of work that people went into it. I'm not saying they don't deserve the money. I'm just saying I'm cheap and don't want to pay for it right now. Also on a budget. But there we go. You see how that's working? We're going to go ahead and preeminently grab some lanterns because we want our build to be lit up. Ah, bad block placement is not going to happen anymore. I know I've said that like 7 times already this episode. This is very sad. I should be a pro. There we go. Looking really snazzy there. Now, as for how I did the composters and water, this is where you will want half slabs, composters. We don't need the chest anymore. That, or that. There we go. Boom. We will want these. We're going to move the netherite hoe to the end because that's kind of the end thing. What I did is I went in 4 from both sides, and I'll show you that here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, coming in from the other side now. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. There. Should see a nice even setup there. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And then we do this block. There. Now you see there are half slabs here. Our composters over there are actually hiding our water. Now the reason this is important, do not look at this bottom half slab when you place your water. If you do, you are starting all over because the water will go through to all of those minecart tracks and wash them away. And you will be putting them back. Not me, you. So look at the side of the grass block when you place water. Place. 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 You notice the water is still. It is not going anywhere, and you can come underneath here. We're going to dig a hole. All of your minecart is still there. Nothing is missing. Now that you have water placed, it's time for a hoedown. Grab your netherite hoe and go to town. Simple. Boom. I promise I'm not going to do that the whole time. Time lapse again. I'm tired. Farming is such hard work. But you see, now it's going well. And as I was doing that, I noticed I did miss a couple lanterns. I am going to go ahead, rectify that situation right there. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. We're just doing this in the middle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Real simple, real easy, and of course do it up here too. There we go. Light. We like it. Now, this is now all farmland. Do not hop on it. You'll ruin it. Simply now, all we do is place down our composters. Now, you can do this however you want. I went a little organized over there. I have a composter and bed in the same section, so that villager gets that. So if that means you will plant one composter at a time, I will suggest putting a light above the composter, mainly because we want all of this to be lit very well. Now, as we are in the center, we definitely need to have our beds. So we need a bed, I want to say, right there. Yep, right there. This is where I also grabbed a different block material so I could tell. And the reason for this, for villagers to do work, they have to sleep. Unless you have them bobbing up and down in water, which is how you see a lot of the iron farms and villager trading halls going. Great idea, but if the farmers aren't able to get out and harvest the crops, they aren't going to be able to get the crops for us. Which is why we have to have them sleep, and that's why they're trapped in this big glass box. And speaking of the big glass box, we need to put a roof over it. Bottom half slab on top of that sea lantern, and then just basically cover in the roof. I will not time-lapse this one. I will see you guys when the roof is made. And we're back. The roof is made. The roof is on. We are all good. At this point, I will suggest throwing down some beds and your composters. There we go. And you see everything is going really well. I'm not going to go completely OCD this time. And see lantern. There we go. This is No! That's why I said don't jump. I hit the wrong button. There we go. There we go. There we go. We have lots and lots of light now. Boom. Bed. Bed. Now everything is good. The only thing we're missing is villagers. In here, it's going to be very simple for me because I am going to actually just use some villager spawn eggs and get them taken care of. Villager, there we go. But before we do that, we have got to put some crops in. For this, I am not going to do the beetroot this time. I am going to do a big section of wheat, a big section of potatoes, and an even bigger section of carrots, because I find carrots of all the crops for me to be the most useful. And the reason I will say that is because you can use golden carrots as a good food. You can use them in potions. Golden carrots have the highest saturation rate and have just about as much hunger refill as actual steak does. Here we go. Gonna do some taters. And potatoes are just awesome because who doesn't love a good baked potato? If you don't like a good baked potato, please invert your eyes. And carrots. We're going to do the back half of this whole thing in carrot. There we go. Our crops are planted. We have a quarter of it wheat, a quarter of it potatoes, and half of it to be carrots. Now, all we've got to do is put our villagers in here. So we're going to go 1, 2, do it on this now. 3, 4. There we go. Now we need to place down some beds for these gents. Boom and boom. All of them are taken care of. Our other guys over there are not breeding. They tried, but no. And there we go. Now for the little bit of a tricky part. A lot of tutorials on automatic crop farming from villagers involves putting another villager somewhere for them to throw food to. I didn't want to go that route because I hate dealing with villagers on the best of days. So what we are going to do is we're going to clear our inventory. This is where it will help if you have some actual crops already on hand, because we're going to fill our inventory up with carrots, potatoes, and we are going to go to town feeding our villagers. We're just going to give them a whole bunch of stuff until they stop picking it up. There we go. You see, we've given him a whole bunch. This guy's after it now. There we go. We're going to do it again. We're going to give these guys a whole bunch of stuff. There we go. And now a whole bunch of it is sitting there. Is he going to pick it up? He is not. So we're going to give this guy some of it. There we go. And we're also going to give him some wheat, because we definitely need to have wheat in this farm. Where are you at? There you are. Simple enough. You give them the wheat until they, or you give them food until they stop collecting it. And you'll see the collection. There you go. See, he picked it all up right there. So we're going to give some more wheat. We're going to give some more carrots. And if he does not pick it up, we'll pick it back up and take it to another farmer. There we go. He didn't pick it up. We're going to give him some to this guy. He looks hungry. I am not 100% sure how large the villager inventory is. I don't know if it's several stacks large or what, but it does have some depth to it. There we go. You going to pick all that up? Apparently you're not. That's okay. We can continue giving it to these guys. He's not going to pick it up, is he? Nope, he's not. Also, when doing this, if you're in a survival world, you should not have an issue, but you need to make sure of one feature that's turned on. You have to turn on, it's down here, mob griefing. If mob griefing is turned off, this will not work. Mob griefing is the feature that most people turn off because they're tired of Endermen stealing blocks and creepers leaving giant holes. But if you turn off mob griefing, villagers will not interact with crops, which is a bad thing. So make sure mob griefing is turned on. And let's continue to go around making sure all of our guys are well fed. He picked up the carrots, so he had room. Let's get some more potatoes just to be safe. And he is not picking up potatoes. Let's give some potatoes to this guy. He is also not picking up potatoes. He is not picking up wheat. However, he does want to trade some wheat. We'll trade some wheat. What are you? You're a potato farmer. Trade some potatoes with you. What about you, buddy? Wheat. Gotcha. Where's the... Oh, there they are. Now they're happy. They're giving food to each other, which is a good thing. There's 3 of you. There's the carrot guy. I need carrots. There we go. Now all of our villagers have had food. There we go. In this next part, I have to use a command because I have to unlock the day-night cycle. In my creative test world, I keep it on day noon because I'm tired of the sun doing everything. We are going to do a time set sunset. There we go. So we are going to let it become nighttime. We are going to let our villagers sleep because I believe they do need to sleep for this farm to actually work as effective as it should be. While we are waiting, we can go ahead and throw our minecart down here. Boom, it'll go back and forth collecting everything. I'm gonna go ahead and grab myself a bed because I'm gonna make it daytime again the right way. And I'll make sure to destroy my bed because I don't want any of these guys making baby villagers right now. Ah! There we go. Good. Wonderful. Now these guys are up. The only thing left is for the crops to grow. In your survival world, that will take time. In mine, it will simply take bone meal. And if you happen to have a lot of bone meal, then fantastic. But now, there you go. You can see these guys going to town, harvesting crops. And the reason I make this farm so large, a full chunk, is because I want them to always be able to harvest. I don't want them to not be harvesting simply because nothing has grown. So that is the main reason I would suggest it being this big. Obviously, the larger you make this farm, the more resource intense it is going to be. Ah! Who broke the farm? Plant some carrots there. Come on, guys. There we are. Right now, just spamming bone meal. Which, another good thing from this farm is it's very multifunctional. Is when you start getting a lot of excessive crops that say you don't need, you can always put them into a composter and get more bone meal, which is a wonderful thing because bone meal has so many useful features. It can be used to grow trees, it can be used to grow any crop or plant, it can be used to get flowers, it can be used for white dye, so it can be used for everything. Why is there no potato there? You're supposed to replant. And looks like we got a lot of potatoes going along here. If you seem to decide that some of your crops are not what you're wanting them to be, you can come in yourself and address that. But I really would not bother. The headache is not worth it. As you can see, I've already had potatoes kind of taking over a big chunk of our wheat farm over here. But there you go. You already see crops are just sitting there on the ground, needing picked up, needing harvested. There we go. This guy's still planting wheat. That's good. Fantastic. So you see it's working. The whole idea is working. This needs to be potato. Whole idea is working. Our farmers are harvesting stuff. You can see it's just sitting over there. The minecart's picking it up. And it is all making its way into our chest. So far, we got a boatload of carrots, which is wonderful. But we'll eventually start getting potatoes and wheat as well. And you'll get whatever crops you put into your farm. So basically, this is what you put into it. If you fill it all with wheat, you're going to get all wheat. If you fill it all with carrots, you're going to get all carrots. So it's whatever you want to do. This farm is stackable. This farm is tileable. Means you can build another one over there, over there, over there, right here. So you could build a whole chunk for each crop of wheat, carrots, potatoes, and if you build a whole chunk of this thing for beetroot, why did you do that? There is no need for that much beetroot. And if you have a beetroot trading farmer, break his composter, turn him into a different farmer that trades better stuff. Please do it. Do it. I can't stand beetroot. It's a wasted crop. Moving on, tantrum over. But that's it. Simple. Takes a little bit of time. Yes, it can be a little resource intensive. And yes, there's probably a much faster way to do the minecart with having two different minecarts going back and forth, each covering half of it. That's up to you. I kept it simple. One minecart, one whole set of track that goes back and forth, and one chunk to take care of everything in there. I will say sometimes our villagers are going to get a little caught over here on these fence gates. I don't know why. I wish I did. But if that happens, come over here, nudge them a little bit, somehow push them out of the way. If you got to, come out here. There we go, he moved. I was gonna hit him. But there you go, done. And you can even double this as a trading hall for your farmers, because all the crops they are producing, as you saw, they will trade. So far, all we're getting in here is carrots. I imagine the other crops will make their way through as soon as the farmers get their full of those crops. But that is it. That is it for this episode of Farming the Basics. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you have another farm you would like to see, please drop a comment. What is a farm or some kind of a redstone contraption? What do you want to see in the next episode of Farming the Basics? I have some ideas, but I'm also open to doing what you guys would like to see. Be sure to drop a comment below. Hit that thumbs up button, like smash a nuclear bomb on it if you liked it and found this farm helpful. If you are not already, be sure to subscribe so you can check out new episodes every Mondays and Fridays. Thank you again so much for watching. This is St. Isaac signing off. Bye-bye.